Hey guys, it is me, Jacqueline, and for today's video I have a non-spoilery review for Born Sinner, and this is by S.L. Jennings. Born Sinner just came out on August 23rd. It is the first book in the Seven Sinners series, which is a new adult paranormal series. I was actually sent an eARC of this book by Mo, who is the author's assistant, in exchange for an honest review. I want to thank her so incredibly much because I really enjoyed this book. I was actually surprised by how much I did enjoy it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars and I cannot wait to talk all about it. So let's get right into the review. So what exactly is this book about? This is one of the hardest books to summarize, and I hope I do an okay job with it, just because before I actually read this book, the only thing I knew about it was a new adult paranormal book about angels and demons. I didn't read too much into the summary because I didn't want to spoil myself, and so I'm going to try my hardest to give a non-spoilery summary to you guys. Like I said, this is a new adult book. I recommend this book for people of a certain age just because there are mature scenes in this book. In this book, we follow our main character named Eden. She is 22 years old, and pretty much she is an outsider. She has silver hair, which is why I'm wearing silver makeup, and she sort of is just living life day by day. Now, one day when she's working, her life is changed forever and she meets the Seven Sinners. That's all I'm going to say for the summary. I know it is a very short, brief summary, but I just don't want to spoil you guys because this book takes you on such an amazing journey and it shows you all the in and outs of what I'm talking about. Going on to the pros and cons, I'm going to start with the pros. My favorite thing about this book is the entire Seven Sinners idea. The Seven Sinners is a group of demons that are trying to help the common good. I'm not going to say how or why or anything like that because spoilers, but I absolutely love this entire concept. I thought it was so unique and so fun to read, and I cannot wait to read more of it, a part of this series. The only thing I wished is we got to see more of the individual members. I just felt like we didn't get to interact with them enough, but since this is a series, I'm expecting we get to see more of them, and so I'm totally okay with that. The next thing I want to talk about is our main character, Eden. Eden reminds me a ton of Clary from the Mortal Instruments series, just because I feel the same way I do about her that I did with Clary in the first book, and that is I had this love-annoyance relationship with her. Pretty much whenever she did like really cool things, I was like, yeah, I'm really feeling this main character, and then she would just do something that I wasn't really fond of and I would be like, why would you do that? And it was like this cycle, but as the book progressed, so did her character development, and I thought that she really did grow as a character, and I can already tell that I might actually like her a lot when it goes off to the second book. Like, I feel like I might not have that annoyance factor even play into the mix. And I know that sounds super confusing, but if you have read the Mortal Instruments series, you might understand what I'm talking about when it comes to Clary. There is just some actions that she does that I don't agree with, and it absolutely annoys me that she even decided to do them, and that's sort of the same way I felt with Eden. Speaking of Eden, let's talk about the romance. I'm going to talk about her and the one love interest that she spends majority of the time with in this novel. I think there might be a potential love triangle as we continue on with this series, but in book 1 we really don't see any sort of thing with a love triangle, maybe towards the end, but majority of the book I feel that there is no love triangle really happening. This couple I didn't really love until the last 10% of the novel. The last 10% of this novel is absolutely amazing. I'm going to talk about that individually, but in the last 10% of the novel, all things got really answered, just because with this couple, they kept going around in circles, and that's one of my least favorite things when it comes to romance in a book. I hate when couples avoid said topic, and specifically when it came to this book, this is just an example, the love interest would avoid his backstory, and even when Eden would be like, oh, tell me what's your backstory, and he would just completely change the subject, that aggravates me to no end, because later on in the story it got answered, and I was like, well, you could have told her when it was just you and her, but no, you had to wait till now. And I don't know, I just feel like it's a little bit unrealistic, just because if I was in that situation, I would be like, no, don't even try to change the subject, tell me about your backstory. Also, I want to mention with this couple, there is some angst. I know some people absolutely hate angst. I don't really care about it. I actually like it sometimes when it's done well, aka Asimov, just saying. But when it came to the angst, the one thing I didn't understand was the love interest attraction towards Eden. But of course, at the end, we got to really see why exactly he is, and I was like, holy shit, because I was not expecting it at all. Even though I get an answer towards the end of why exactly he was attracted to Eden, I sort of wished, not that it was brought up earlier, but we got a little bit more substance, because it sort of felt a little bit insta-lusty from his point of view until we actually found out why exactly he feels that type of way. The last thing I have to talk about is the ending, because holy shit, that ending was so intense. The cliffhanger, I need the second book in my life, because the ending, oh my goodness. The last 10% of this novel was so good. There was only one thing that I sort of expected to happen, and it did happen. And then other than that, I was completely surprised with a lot of other things, and I cannot wait for the second book, because yet again, that cliffhanger is so awesome and I just need more in my life. That was my review for Born Sinner. If you decide to pick up this book, let me know down below in the comment section what you thought of it, or let me know what you thought of my review. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!